Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be on this wonderful, amazing planet of ours. I'm a flop, and my co-host is a flop. The reason he knows is he's looking at me all funny. I was supposed to learn how to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening in Italian, Spanish, French, and all of them places all around Europe because this is Eurostars. I only got C in French, and the other languages I'm not familiar with them, but it is what it is. And then with the intro,
in French is bon matin.
Bon matin, yeah. Is that how you go? I was gonna say
bonjour.
I was gonna say bonjour, man.
Buongiorno in
Okay,
Italian.
hold on. Remedi's coming with it. Come with the flow, bro.
And good evening is bonsoir.
Okay.
Bonsoir. Mo, you know the Italian?
I know just the buongiorno one, the Italian.
Buongiorno.
Buonasera is good evening. That's it.
Good evening, yeah. Tyro, you gonna hit us with anything? Or are you like me?
I'm gonna go with welcome in. I'm sure I see it at the airport.
Okay. That might be fine. Bilal, you can
one more, innit?
Yeah, I like that. Bilal, you can because you messed up the intro, you can do something here and redeem yourself. Have you got anything for us in any language?
Hola. Yeah, there you go. A bit of Spanish, mate. Come on.
Okay.
Wait, did you say hola instead of
hola?
Hola. That sounds Portuguese.
Hola, amigo.
Taking off the sh of shola and going hola.
Yeah, hola.
Wait, that makes you shola with them. Exactly. People, you're very welcome to a brand new show on my channel. Brand new flex. I'm coming to Eurostars. So this show, basically, in a nutshell, is going to be all about the Eurostars. We're going to talk about the big leagues, the big stars, Champion League nights. Maybe if there's a Europa League that's worth talking about game coming up. But we're mainly going to be focusing on the big dogs and the big leagues all around Europe. And to help me, I've got some of the big footballing brains around Europe as well to come and help me and we talk. Of course, people already know Bilal, my latest recruit, my young buck, is in the building. I know he's an Arsenal fan. I know all of that, but still, he's one of the nicest guys. Bilal, welcome to Eurostars, my brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And yeah, Eurostars, man. Let's get cracking. Guys coming here with so much knowledge. And yeah, it's going to be good. So everyone get locked in and make sure you hit the like button.
100%, man. 100%. Let's talk football. People already know, man. Listen, people already in the chat. There's over 100 of you already waiting in here. That's for a new show, man. We keep it going. We keep it going. Nice touch going Euro. No one does. Big up to Chelsea. From a Chelsea fan, I like that, man. You know what I mean? I'm not most popular with Chelsea people, but you never know, man. This week I've been praising Thiago Silva. So come for me, man. Come on, subscribe, like, share all that business because Thiago Silva is the big dog. I even compared him. I said he's the only one in the Premier League that can talk to Virgil van Dijk. And Liverpool fans were like, what do you mean? Where are you? I said what I said. Thiago Silva is big. Of course, people know Mo has already been on my channel a couple of times now, but of course, very, very welcome again. I'd like to say a Serie A expert. Am I right?
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Bilal, for all the intro stuff and all of the things that you did. But I'm really glad to be here with you guys, and I'm ready to talk about Europe, Serie A, and my team. We're winning this year. Hopefully, Juventus will flop. And I'm here to talk Serie A, La Liga, all the Euros, Champions League, and we're here with Grizz and Bilal and all the guys, and we're going to enjoy it. And I'm sure everybody that is watching us, you guys are going to enjoy it.
100%, of course. And I got Tyrone with me from Never a Foul. Tyrone, most welcome as well, my brother. I know you take a keen interest in all things European football as well.
Yeah, man. Honestly, big up for hitting me up. And it's great to obviously be on with Rimedi, Bilal, and Mo, obviously. Never a Foul, my team member as well. And obviously, yourself, Grizz, we've spoken a lot of times. And I think, you know, this show is going to be something different as well because everyone talks about their own clubs and everything. But I think to dissect into things away from the Premier League is always interesting. So most importantly, I'm always going to say it. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're new. Please support Grizz. Please support everyone else here. And yeah, man, we just want to give you good football content and let's rock with it, man.
100%. People are already going to try to find out where they can find all you lot people. Again, I blame Bilal. Everything that goes wrong, just blame Bilal. That's why I got him. Everything that happens and you think is wrong, you know what I mean? Complain, DM, Insta him. Don't talk to me because, you know, guys, me, I just switch on my laptop and say, yeah, well, go on. That's me. That's my life. I don't know nothing else. The man behind the scenes is Bill out for this show. So, you know what I mean? If their link is not in the description, tell him. But of course, I left the Rimedi till last. And the reason for that is making his debut, and I'm absolutely it's an absolute honor and a pleasure. Yeah, man, pleasure. First time on my channel. You know what I mean? The TikTok sensation out there. I tell you, some of his takes out. Me and him, he's already slapped me. He slapped me with one take. I need to tell people. So he put something about Fulham the other day. And I said, wow, take. I think he said Fulham will survive or something. I can't remember what he said. I said, wow, take. And he said, have you watched them? And I didn't answer because I didn't watch them too much until Carvalho was linked, yeah? And then they just go and do that to us over the weekend. So I was going to cancel his invite, but I couldn't do that to the brother. Big up yourself, Rimedi. Thank you very much for coming on, my brother.
Of course. Thanks for having me. You know, I'm just a humble guy from ends. I just want to, share my love for football. And me, I love La Liga. La Liga is one of my passions. I listen to all the La Liga stuff I can. So yeah, it'll be interesting for me to give my takes to you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll just be here. You guys gonna banter with me. I'll banter with you, and let's do this, inshallah.
100%. I think there's people letting me know in the chat, man. People are already letting me know in the chat that look. Lil Tim's is in the chat saying Grizz Khan, and he's doing it in capital, so he's shouting at me. Why are you shouting, bro, man? Like you done me already in the Champions League, innit? Why are you coming for me again? Grizz Khan, he says, shouting at me. Madrid have conquered Europe again. No arguments, bro. No arguments. You've conquered Europe. Not only have Real Madrid people won the Champions League, as we know, against my very own Liverpool, but tonight they have beaten Frankfurt 2-0, I believe. People, I don't know if any goals after that. I switched off. You know what I mean? You know how you do when Madrid get that first goal, you just switch off. But Bilal,
you know what? It's death, taxes, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro in the heart of this midfield. I'm turning on and I'm watching. I'm waiting for if you go to the lineup, I'm waiting for the young guns. You know, like it's a new season. It's gonna. And I'm turning on and it's just these guys just swinging the ball left and right, just controlling the middle. I was like, okay.
While we're talking about it, well, hopefully Bilal's got the lineup running up because Mo, that lineup is just eyes closed, no memory needed. That lineup is just become legendary now, right? Yeah. You have to admit it.
I didn't think there is any. Okay, there is no midfield in the world that can play together consistently like them. There has to be a reason why they get chosen every week and in every big game over the young players. This is something that is Ancelotti has to come out and say, you know what, these guys are my guys and they're here to play. You have to earn your spot from these guys, even though that people say Toni Kroos is getting older, Luka Modric is going 37, 38, but this guy is balling, man. This guy is controlling everything, bro.
I'm going to come to you, Tyrone, with that talk about that midfield, man. Talk about this team. Every season we say, is this it?
Yeah, do you know what? It's so true. And I actually thought last year, I was thinking, is this it? And like Mo said, you look at Modric, he's 37, 38, but he's aging like fine wine. You've got Toni Kroos, who still can control games, but I think his optimum level is now you're starting to see 60 minutes. And you've got Casemiro, who I actually think potentially, people might disagree, but I think you guys in here would agree, but he's one of the most underrated midfielders. I think when he retires, and you look at he went to Porto out on loan and then he came back and people still didn't think he'd be a key figure for Madrid. He's done it the hard way. And that's why I love Casemiro. He's that bulldog on the pitch, need that tenacity, but to come to Real Madrid, go out on loan and then come back and fight for your place and win it, I think that's testament to his character because we've seen a lot of players come into that Real Madrid side over the years and not quite light up when they've gone out on loan. And I think what it is, where I think Real Madrid have got it right and a lot of other clubs could potentially get it wrong, is that you've got Camavinga, who's obviously a very young, talented French player. You've got Rimedi now that's come in. But I feel like Ancelotti is getting the balance really right. And I think the biggest praise I've heard about Ancelotti in his managerial career is his man management. And I feel like if that was any other team, a lot of players could get unrestful saying, why am I not playing more games and stuff like that? But what I feel like this Real Madrid team have, which I think is amazing, is they have respect from the goalkeeper to the striker to the bench. And everyone just appears to be on the same wavelength. Like this game tonight, Cruz, Casemiro, Modric, that's absolutely fine. Real Madrid could then open up their account, say, against a Rayo Vallecano on the weekend, and Camavinga could come in. And I just feel like they've got the balance of playing Camavinga and Tchouaméni, who will play this season, and alongside these Modric, Casemiros, and Cruzes. And one thing about them, they're already talented, Grizz. They're only going to learn and get better playing with these experienced players. And I just feel like there's no unrestfulness about rushing players to start. You saw when Foden was coming through at City, a random example, but play him. Why are you not playing Foden? You remember the English media. You don't get that around Real Madrid. Ancelotti is getting the balance right. And when it comes to winning trophies and winning leagues, it's all about balance. And they've got that. And tonight we've seen it again.
100%. Rimedi, what's the secret of their success in terms of, I know Tyrone touched upon Carlo Ancelotti, the way he's operates. He's the Don, isn't it? He's the Don. He's got an aura about him, hasn't he? When you're talking about sort of elite coaches, I want to ask you two questions because it's your debut and I want to make it hard for you. Most work rate. You're the Casemiro. I want to ask you two questions, my brother. Carlo Ancelotti, where does he rank for you on a personal level, right? And then that midfield, because I've seen takes, and obviously everyone's entitled to have their opinions. Madrid fans, of course, Barcelona fans say something else, and another fan might say something else. But where do you rank that trio in midfield in terms of ranking the best three midfield like Casemiro, Modric, Cruz, and then the manager? Because they've got to be somewhere now, right? There has to be. We can't say nothing.
No consistency.
We can't say nothing.
Of course. So to start off with the manager, I think when you think about managers, there's always like two types. You have the tacticians and you have the overseers, I like to call them. The ones that don't physically impose everything on the team, but they know what the right balance is and they know who to play, what games, etc., etc. Arsene Wenger was good at that. Sir Alex Ferguson was amazing at that. And
Yes.
you see it more with the old school managers. Now it's like Ancelotti is one of the last of a dying breed. And when you look at him, it's never about, okay, so we're going to tactically do this and our tactics are going to do that. What is more so is it's automisms. It's also about players know where to find each other on the pitch. And something that is very underrated is the use of Valverde. Valverde is not a winger. He's not a central midfielder. He's just a right back, a right winger, a right midfielder. I just call him right because he's just the right solution in most games. And the use of Valverde is very interesting because what it allows it to do is that it allows Madrid to defend in a 4-4-2. Cruz goes to the left, Valverde goes to the right, and it allows Benzema and Vinicius to just hold their position. And on the outlet, Vinicius is just unbelievable. He's so electric. He's so quick. He's so good. And with Benzema finding him, and he has that ability to be that link man and to find players in space and also to be the main goal getter himself. I think Ancelotti knows what his team is, and it'll be hard for players to jump in straight away. Speaking about all the players, young players coming in. To answer your second question about the midfield, I think it's up there as one of the best. Me personally, because I'm a football purist, I can't look past Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. But these guys.
Have I gone?
No. It's Remedi's Wi-Fi. Maybe he'll come back. He'll come.
That's a great image, though. He's posed like he's actually doing
he's about to say, you know what he's about to say? He's about to say, look, total respect on these people's names. You know what I mean? But for me, as soon as he's about to hit that line, Bilal, you can take over that.
I'll take over. I think he was going to say he prefers Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta. And to be honest, as a footballing trio, and when you think about how dominant Barcelona were and how they just made you feel watching them, I think, yes, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, these three in midfield were something different. I don't think we'll see domination like that, in terms of all phases of the game, in terms of just giving you zero chance. The games between, let's say, Barcelona and Manchester United in the Champions League final, when Man United were bullying English football, you're thinking Man United are one of the best teams in the world. They can go toe-to-toe with Barcelona. Then you look at the finals and it's just a walkover, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. Of course, Messi was a massive factor, but really and truly the midfield, the freedom, the fluidity, it was a different level. Real Madrid and this team and this era of success that we've seen with Modric, with Casemiro and Cruz, they will be remembered for just getting. For me, I don't want to discount them. Obviously, they're unbelievable and they'll be remembered forever. But I feel like they'll be remembered for what they've won, not as opposed to how they made us feel. And I always feel like this is a difference. How I try and
that's a great terminology, by the way, for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I feel like we'll remember this trio for what they've won. But when we think about Xavi, Busquets, and Iniesta, we're going to think about more than just the trophies. We're going to think about how they made us feel when we watch them play. So I think that's a difference, but I'm not taking away from this midfield that has been going year after year. We doubt them every single season, and it just keeps on performing. And we've seen now with Tchouaméni coming in, it's not guaranteed that he's going to break into that team straight away. Camavinga, this guy could have gone to any other team in the world pretty much and probably started. He's gone to Real Madrid last season, Champions League, coming on for 20 minutes. He's changing the game. You know, it's calm for him because he's going into an environment where there's leaders in there. And, you know, for me, I think that team and that Real Madrid midfield, for me, they are, you know, they're just functional. And Modric, maybe there's an argument for him versus like an Iniesta. I think him in particular, maybe
I
a
put
Modric.
them as my top two midfielders actually, but
Yeah.
show recently.
Yeah, I think this is a debate to have. I don't think the debate should be Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric versus the Barcelona trio. I think it should be more Modric or Iniesta. Who are you taking? Because I feel like out of the midfield and who you could actually choose to put against each other, I think these two are the two to like face off. I don't know what you guys think about that, Tyrone.
Do you know what? That's a great comment. Oh, big up. I don't know what's happened there, but we'll carry on. We'll carry on. Grizz will be back. But do you know what? It's so funny, right? Because I had this conversation a little while back, and I was talking about like midfielders over my era. And when you touch on that Barcelona Manchester United games, one of the painful times for me. But the first 10 minutes in the game against them in Rome, we were brilliant, and we should have been 1-0 up. Then Barcelona grew into the game, got the goal, and we couldn't get away back into the game, unfortunately. But when you touch on Luka Modric and Iniesta, I think it's a great debate because they're both wonderful players. Don't get it twisted. But I actually put both of them as probably my top two midfielders when I look at the era that we've watched recently. I think the only thing that I could say that's different for me slightly between the pair is that if I had to look for someone in my team that I wanted as a complete midfielder, I'm using the term complete. That means can do box to box, can tackle, can get up and down, can pass, can score, can create. I actually look at Luka Modric in this era, and I actually think he's the most complete midfielder. Wait, is Grizz?
Grizz,
I'm good. Sorry, I just
sorry, bro.
While I was cussing Remedi's Wi-Fi, it's what happens. Karma. You have to believe in karma. But you know how I was taking the piss out of his pose, yeah?
And I thought, does he know?
I was talking about his pose, yeah? I went as well. So this is what happens. Never take the piss out of people, especially live. Sorry.
No, it's true. But no, as I was saying, I think when you look at them, the midfielders as them two, I think in this whole era that we've grown up in, Bilal, I just feel like Luka Modric is the most complete, and that means can do a bit of everything. So for me now, when the football was, when I was growing up, it was the Ruud van Nistelrooy days, 4-4-2, traditional, old school. Luka Modric would be perfect even in that era now, just because he can do a bit of everything. I'm not saying Iniesta can't play in a 4-4-2, by the way, because I believe, of course, he can. He's got the ability to. But as a complete midfielder, I'd go with Modric. But then for certain aspects, which I'm talking about, you excel in and you're clear of, I think Iniesta has more of them. So I think they both have pros and they're not cons, but they both excel in different ways. But more complete Modric in terms of like excelling in a specific area, maybe dribbling and, them one-on-one situations, turning on a half turn. I think Iniesta is different gravy to anyone I've probably seen in my lifetime, really.
I can sense Mo dying to dive in. So we're going to let Mo dive in because already there's too much Real Madrid chat in here, man. We're gonna keep it moving.
Listen, man, just one thing. I don't have an agenda against Iniesta or Xavi, but to play for Guardiola and playing all that with Barcelona, having Lionel Messi, is different than playing Real Madrid and being inferior like this season. They won the Champions League. They were the inferior team most of the time. And this guy, Luka Modric, takes just over the scene, right? There is a difference between when you play for Barcelona and it's easy tiki-taka, pass around. It's due to the players, yes. But some people like Victor Valdés looked a great goalkeeper. And then I think he's not one of the greats at all, but numbers-wise, he looked great. Iniesta is a great technical player. Dribbling, passing, great. But Modric takes over 21 players around him. That's what I saw from Modric. And at 10 years from now, or 20 years from now, they're going to remember Modric that won 5 Champions League. This is what I think. They're going to remember Iniesta playing in one of the good teams and stuff like this. It's the same as when they remember the Dutch team, and Grizz would know that, right? Like the Dutch team. They play great football, stuff like this. But the other teams that won the trophies, the Italians, the Germans, the Argentinians, these are the remembered in 20 years later. You remember the good football, but you don't remember the names as much as when you remember the trophies. This is what this Real Madrid team, they only won 3 La Ligas in the last 9 years or 8 years. After Mourinho won it's Ancelotti and Zidane and Ancelotti again, but they won 5 Champions Leagues, right? This will be remembered for in the history because nobody else is going to do that, right? I don't think anybody's going to do 3 Champions League unless someone comes with the magic. But this is why, for me, Iniesta was a magician, but Modric, as Ty said, is one of the best midfielders to play. If you would choose a player to play for your team, you would choose Modric over anybody because he can definitely control game. So maybe it's the same as, you know what, Ronaldinho gave us the greatest season for highlights. That 2006 highlights, go watch it on YouTube if you're not old enough. It's a great highlights. But would you choose Ronaldinho to play in your team, or would you choose Messi or Cristiano? Because you would choose someone who would take over games, take over leagues, take over competitions, right? And that's what I mean. Like Iniesta was great and all of this, but Modric, man, he takes over the screen, man. You're watching TV, this guy takes over the screen.
Can I probably Bilal was the wrong person to come to when it comes to sort of saying recency bias because you're probably the youngest on the stream.
Yeah.
But is there a hint of recency bias?
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up.
Oh, was you? Okay.
I was going to bring this up. I was going to say, is it recency bias that's making us think that Modric is, maybe on a different level even, or just a bit better than Iniesta? I don't think we're saying he's in a different level planet to Iniesta. I think we're saying they're similar levels, but Modric offers maybe just that bit more where he can do it maybe just by himself and change a game. And you see him blast past people in the middle of the park. You see him play these balls that just cut out a whole team. You see him shoot from range and the ball goes in. This is what Modric offers compared to maybe an Iniesta who's more silky, yes, more on the half turn, more, assists and goals. I don't think Iniesta's numbers were that amazing really, but obviously when you watch him play with Xavi and everything was just functioning properly. So yeah, is it recency bias? But for me, I would say in the last few years watching Modric, my personal opinion, and this is me coming as an Arsenal fan, this is someone who's played for Tottenham, this is someone I shouldn't like. I watch Modric and I just think some of the things he does, he does things that Iniesta just can't do. And it's that as I said, that burst that he can have in the middle of the park where he can get past an N'Golo Kante, and that's N'Golo Kante we're talking about. We're not talking about no schmuck. We're talking about one of the best box-to-box ball-winning midfielders of the last decade. I think Modric just offers that tiny bit more, and that's why I'd have him above Iniesta. But yeah, it's just my opinion. But maybe I'm the wrong person to ask.
These things, no. There's no right and wrong in these situations. These things are you can have a whole show. You can have a whole season of shows on talking the greatest. I'm going to let Rimedi have the last say on this matter because he was cut off. So I'm going to let you have the last say. I think Mo and Ty have chosen Modric as the greatest.
No, I'm not gonna say, just quickly, I'm not gonna say I love both. I'm just saying Modric is more rounded and complete, but Iniesta excels in certain things. So I think they're both.
No, but he's sitting on the fence now. He's sitting on the fence.
Remedi's putting me under pressure. Okay.
So choose one. No, say what you choose. If you're gonna say something, say it.
Okay, if I'm picking for my team and it's a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, whatever, I'm gonna go with Modric for the more rounded.
So I was right. Go on, Rimedi.
Keep turning, and then at the end.
Okay, so out of those six, the 3 Barca, the 3 Madrid, 4-3-3. What's the one? Because it could be the DM you could pick. You could pick one of the 8s. I'm not asking you that. I'm saying pick one for your team out of those 6.
Oh, my answer is so simple. Is Xavi. So simple. It's Xavi. Look, you like Modric. I think Iniesta is funny. Like when I think about Iniesta, see, I'm probably the youngest on the panel. I'm 22. So when I think about Iniesta, I think about him playing a bit closer to goal because that's where I think he's better. Not so right in the middle of the park because that was more Xavi's area. I think when it comes to Iniesta, like drifting off that left, that's where I see him at his best. So Modric and Iniesta, even though they have similar play styles, I think they cover different things in their teams. But me, when it comes to Xavi, I think I love players that have their head on a swivel 24/7. And he picks up the ball. He knows what his next move is even before the person before him gets the ball. And that's what I love about players that know what they're about to do straight away. When the ball comes to Xavi, bam, the ball's either moving forward, it's going to be passed to someone. And I just think players like that are so rare to find. You can find your complete players. You can find I'm not saying you can find them every week, but one every few years comes around like that. But when it comes to Xavi, there's been no one like him since then. And that's why.
As I said, look, look, everyone has their own favorites. I'm not going to reveal my favorite right now, right here. We've got so much to get through. We're already 26 minutes in, but we're going to keep this moving. People, don't forget to like the stream on your way in. The chat started off about Real Madrid because naturally they won the Super Cup tonight. They beat my team. Everyone knows what I think of Real Madrid, but it is what it is. Bilal, if we can get the table, because obviously we're talking about Real Madrid and Barcelona. If we get a table how it ended last season. Guys, I just want to get your thoughts. How are we looking? How are we talking this season? Obviously, we're going to get into the kind of business they've done. But do we see any difference from, let's say, the top three?
I cheer for that. Yeah, I can see that better.
So let's concentrate on the top three. I don't know who wants to go first. Whoever wants to chime in and say, is that table going to change, basically? Whoever wants to go through.
Well, I could start then. Yeah, I think this table could change if Barcelona can register their players. I think we saw last season when Xavi came in, the 4-0, of course, Barcelona beating Real Madrid. I think we saw when Barcelona are at full flow and when Barcelona's system is in place, Barcelona more often than not win the league title. As we've seen in the last, 20 years, Barcelona, for the most part, in terms of league titles, have dominated, while Real Madrid in the Champions League and with the Bernabeu and with the history behind Real Madrid, they've managed to get over the line in the Champions League. So I think it all depends on Barcelona. We're going to have to just assume they're going to register their players. And I think Barcelona for me are going to become the title favourites with the players being registered. So I don't know what you guys think about that in terms of Barcelona and Real Madrid, the dynamics. And Real Madrid, let me just add before I just give up the talk, is the striker or the next forward, the right winger, the Mbappe, didn't happen. Gabriel Jesus was a talking point for Real Madrid, but the passport issues apparently were a major issue. So are they light up front, Real Madrid? I don't know what you guys think about that. And in comparison to Barcelona.
Point. Yeah. I literally was going to say about that, Bilal. I just think when you look at Luka Jovic, who obviously was signed a few years ago from the team they beat tonight, Frankfurt. He's not worked out. He's now gone on loan to Fiorentina. And I just feel like they're quite light up top. And I think when you've got a competition such as the Champions League, such as the Liga, I do think you need depth. And I think that's what you're seeing a lot of Premier League teams now doing. And I think with Barcelona, Adam Rafinha, Lewandowski, Koundé, Frank Kessie, for example, on top of a now fit Ousmane Dembele, who I think could have a brilliant season, I do believe that Barcelona will close the gap. I'm going to say something that people might be surprised by. I actually think that this year potentially could be the last year for Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. And I don't know if people are shocked or people will disagree, but I just feel like with them, I think it might have run its course this year, and we might see that. I think the lack of signings they've really made, I think João Felix hasn't really worked out, even though he's a beautiful player. I just feel like Simeone might be ready for a fresh start. The owner is already looking to potentially sell in the next 2-3 years. And I just think that Barcelona could overtake Real Madrid with the depth they have. And I just think my wild card shout is Atletico Madrid could struggle. And come next summer, don't be surprised if Diego Simeone potentially is on the move. The only asterisk I put by that, by the way, Grizz, is that Diego Simeone is the highest paid manager in the world. It's not going to be easy to get rid of him. He's not the type to walk, especially with his mentality. But I just think that this could be the year that old Atletico of, the brick wall sort of grinding out the 1-0s, 2-1s, it could be coming to an end for them, I wondered what everyone else thinks on that Simeone thing.
Yeah. We're going to speak on that. Just a quick super chat from Joseph. He says, thought I was the only one that rated Xavi higher than Iniesta. Big up Rimedi. There you go. It is what it is. What I wanted to say, look, I get the Atletico, but we started off with Barcelona, and I want to keep it on track because everyone's thinking the same thing. Are they going to be able to register these players? And then we can assess the situation. So, Bilal, I don't know if you've got the activity. I don't know if you're ready for me. If you're not, no problem. I can keep waffling. But if you'd like to bring it up, the business that they intend to do or have done right now.
Yep.
Mo, Yeah, Mo, I'm going to assume because they're Barcelona and you know how it is, they get the things done. No authority is going to say nothing to these. They're mafia. Madrid, Barcelona, they're mafia. PSG, they're mafia. These guys are mafia. Assuming they're going to get everything done, Mo, do you see a title shift from Madrid or a shock with Atletico Madrid, or do you see Barcelona coming through? Well, how do you see it?
So number one, Barcelona failed to register what's his name, Aguero last year before he got sick. So there are no guarantees that they're gonna be able to register Frank Kessie and Christensen in the news today, and they might walk free. And there are teams already talking to their agents. It's already happening.
Mo, they'll get it done. Mo, trust me, they'll get it done. Let's just take a argument.
To be honest with you, they are not the two players that I'm
exactly.
They're not the two players that it was Lewandowski, Rafinha, Julius Koundé, and then if he can get Bernardo Silva, they snatch him from Manchester City. So this is my theory about it. Carlo Ancelotti has 5 league titles in his 20 plus years of managing football. Managing some of the best teams in the history, that Milan team of 2003, 2002, that Milan team of 2005 that lost against Liverpool. And he still hasn't won.
Them ones right there,
yeah. So, in my opinion, Carlo Ancelotti is really good in reading a game by game, making changes in the middle of the game to make things happen. Sometimes in like Champions League or even in La Liga. However, Xavi is kind of the Guardiola school, which is they create a system that will work, and I keep saying that it will work against 16 or 17 teams out of the 19 teams they will face. This is why they will gather a lot of points. And if he can get, and now he had all summer to work with these guys, and it looks like he has a system going for him, which is the same system as the Guardiola system. It's just the passing the ball, having the ball all the time. If he can get this happening to them, I think, as everybody said, they are favorites for the titles. Not because they're stronger. It's just because they're going to have a better system. Real Madrid won the league last year only with 13 points. With all the problems that happened in Barcelona, they were 10th in the league at some point. It was still only 13 points different. It's not 20. It's not 20 plus. It was just 13 points. So when Xavi came in, he was able to create a system, and it worked, and they got second. I think it doesn't matter if they register these players or not. They're going to have a system. It is going to work. Unless something dramatic happens, I think Barcelona with these guys are favorite for the title.
Rimedi, these are the signings that they've made. Talk to me.
He can make it a fantastic 5 for Barca.
Talk to me. Do you agree with the opinion so far, or do you think we'll check up on the Madrid business, but let's just go through the Barcelona business first, and then Bilal can get the Real Madrid business straight after. So this is what they've done. Is this enough to overtake Madrid, in your opinion?
I think so. I think when it comes to Barcelona, I think you have two teams, one very suited for the Champions League in Real Madrid and one very, very suited for the league in Barcelona. Barcelona will pick up points, as Mo said, like that. It'll be very easy to hoover up points because they'll just dominate most of the games. I think the player that I really want to see this season is Rafinha. Rafinha this season, I think, is one of the most important signings they could have made, because what he enables them to do is not fully rely on Ousmane Dembélé, who's had a really bad injury record so far. And even though he's been fit since, I don't know, January, but I think what Rafinha allows them to do is that certain games where you need to find players that are really good one-on-one, Rafinha is amazing at that. Same as Ousmane Dembélé, but like I said, he's unreliable. I think Jules Koundé, I think we'll see a lot of games at him playing right back instead of right centre back, because what he's so good at is running with the ball and finding that space. So Xavi sets up in a system like Arteta, like Pep, like even Ten Hag. I could even stretch that to even Graham Potter, where it's always the 2 or the 3 at the back. And what Koundé is able to do is just to drive and dribble with the ball. So I think, this will really take them up a notch. And as Mo said, only 13 points behind last season. I think they'll really keep the gap closer. And I think it's Barca's league to lose.
Wow. That is that. I think that's a clean.
And I've not even mentioned Lewandowski.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna be the one that says it's Real Madrid, man. I think they've done amazing business. I think there's Tchouaméni on top of Camavinga, who's been there already. I think Rudiger. I just think Rudiger, Tchouaméni, and on top of the players that they've already got, it's going to be enough. You're going to see a progression of Rodrigo. You've already seen the improvement Vinicius has made. But it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be closer. Of course, it's going to be closer. I'm with Ty on the Madrid. I think his brand's finally going to be caught up. I think Real Madrid. I think Atletico Madrid and Simeone. I think it's just going to be. I don't think. I could be wrong. I think it could be the first time the crowd want to see something.
Yeah, trust me. I'm glad you agree. Yeah,
I want to ask the panel something. Grizz, can I ask you something? Grizz, can I ask you guys something? Okay, about this. Rudiger, there are rumors from Madrid fans that he's not even going to start. That it was back three under Thomas Tuchel, and they still see what's his name? Alaba,
Militao,
and Militao as the
rightly so.
It is something that is gonna. It's something that is gonna. I think this is gonna change a lot of perspective about how players play in a 3 versus 4 in the back, because it's this, because he was one of the best defenders in the league last year, right, in Premier League. Now you go to Madrid, Militao was already under pressure. People said he had a mistake in him every game.
I think he's growing. I think he's growing as a top player, man.
No, I love him. I love Militao. But the thing about it is that Rudiger was the coming here and now. You know, Rudiger was like, I'm ready.
Yeah, what you got to look at, and especially, and even if you look at the run-in to the La Liga title and even the final, you know, the injury situations, Militao, even Alaba picks up knocks. You know, every major club needs at least 3 world-class centre-backs. Now, the other centre-back, someone remind me, what's the guy's name? My mind's gone blank.
Nacho.
Nacho's not in that level, is he? We're talking Militao, for me, is so underrated. I know he's picked up injuries in the last year or two, but which may have affected his game, but he's an absolute warrior. Alaba, the conversion from left back to midfield to left back to centre back is just, it shows you the level of football that Alaba is when he can do all 3 roles, by the way, at a world-class level. And then you're adding Rudiger, who's a man-to-man machine. I get Mo's point up completely about in a back 4, because I criticize him about that as well. I call it tactical Tommy tax on all the centre backs, all of it. but it's true.
Chelsea fans are gonna come for you, man.
But yeah, they always do. But they know I love them. But Rimedi, I wanted to come to you, but because you said something about Valverde earlier on, and you said he's just the right person. With Carvajal not getting any younger, if Mo says they play in a back 3, there's no better wing back, right side, right fullback, right winger than Valverde, right? Because that could be a solution to playing all 3 centre backs possibly, or even Alaba is an elite left back in my opinion. Ferland Mendy is brilliant. He's not spoken about enough, but Rudiger makes sense for them in every way, right?
You know, funny enough, I don't really think they're gonna go to that 3 to play.
No, they won't.
I think, funny enough, like I think Rudiger might be a left back for Real Madrid, and I think left back might be a place that's better for him.
Wow.
In this system, because what it means is that Rudiger can still be aggressive and can still be on the front foot, but he doesn't, like, let's say he did that as centre back and made a mistake. Okay, he's gonna he's gonna have a really big mistake as someone's through on goal. But at left back, what he's able to do is he can be touch tight on the winger, for example. He's really good one-on-one defending. But if he does become too aggressive, who does he have behind him? Alaba to sweep up the mistakes. So I think Rudiger in this format, I think he might be a left back in this system. He'll come inside, he'll play exactly the same as how he did in Chelsea, because look at the positions he picked up at Chelsea. He was inside, he was aggressive, he was tight. And that's something that I find super interesting about Rudiger's position. So I think Valverde, he can play right back. That's something I find him very similar to Marcos Llorente at Atletico Madrid. But when Marcos Llorente is playing there, I feel that he's very limited because he's so good at those late runs into the box, as is Valverde. but Valverde can't really do that when he's playing right back or right wing back. So I think you stick Valverde almost inside that midfield, as will Atletico Madrid now with the signing of Molina. They can move Marcus Llorente closer to goal, which he was so good at 2 seasons ago, which allowed them to win the league. But yeah, I think when it comes to that, I think Rudiger is going to be a very interesting thing. And like you heard it here first, I think Rudiger is going to be a left back for them.
Yeah,
you know what, Rimedi? He might actually, Alaba actually is the left back by nature.
He could. I was going to say that one. Yeah, he could
happen. That back three might turn into a back four defensively, offensively, but back three when they go back, like I think Alaba might shift to that left center back, and then he's a left back by nature, can go up. Maybe. But there is so many variables in this Madrid team, man. Like they can do whatever they want because of, as you said, this guy Valverde is like, what you can do a lot with a player like him, to be honest.
He's a machine.
He's a machine. Anyone with Valverde, I don't think there's anyone in world football that is so great in defensive transition and offensive transition at the same time. I believe he could just chat back and then he turns the engine on and he's up the other side of the pitch. Like, I think it's incredible, his engine, especially in the position he plays, because you got to look at it. At the end of the day, we said the 3-man midfield is brilliant, but still, you got to look at their age. He does do a lot of running for them. I just think with Rudiger, Rimedi, I'm very intrigued why he said that, because I kind of understand the logic, because if you look at Cucurella, and I'm going to quickly just revert it to Chelsea, Cucurella is signed as a left wing back / a left centre back for Chelsea, right? But what was Rudiger so important for Chelsea at the back three? He was a ball carrier. He was so excellent at ball carrying into the second phase of the pitch. He potentially could do that for Real Madrid because his ball carrying is so good. However, I think what Mo said in turning Alaba into potential second left back with Ferland Mendy then allows Rudiger to still be in possession and ball carrying from the left centre back position, which I think then keeps them teams camped in their halves when Real Madrid are trying to dominate the ball.
You know, I find interesting, like Alaba, he doesn't like playing left back anymore. It's funny. I think it puts more wear and tear on his body because he has to do a lot more at left back. And I think at centre back, let's say they build up in that three. Alaba is amazing on the ball. Long passes he's good at.
Yeah.
And you want to keep Alaba in the middle so that it allows Rudiger to go and run with the ball and drive into midfield and do whatever he's so good at. I think Rudiger is perfect for that left side, whether that's left back or left centre back. When it comes to the overlapping, I think Rudiger obviously won't be as good as a Ferland Mendy. But I think Rudiger...
with Vinicius there, he probably doesn't want to be over. But yeah, look, you all make valid points. I think it's intriguing. I think it's intriguing the way they're going to set up this season, and it's intriguing the way Barcelona are going to set up as well. Just a couple of super chats because we've got to get to Serie A. La Liga's it's doing my head in La Liga. Kieran with a super chat says Real Madrid haven't defended the league title since 2008. Wow, what a stat! I'm not sure about. Sorry, Bilal, did you say that as well?
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like Barca, when Barca are on form, when Barca have their system, and Barca have their players, they have to be the league favourites. Real Madrid are not a La Liga winning, machine like Barcelona are.
Okay,
well, I'm the only one. League team.
Well, I'm the only one who said Real Madrid to retain it again. So let's see if I'm proved right or you guys are all proved right. Yeah, Aswin says Valverde is what LFC need now in right centre mid. Yeah, bro. But as we've just said, Valverde doesn't just grow on trees, man. Valverde is made in a laboratory, bro. That takes years and years of mixing up potions and all sorts, man. He's the Frankenstein of football. Come on, man. Valverde is, I mean, come on. How can you say that after I just said that, Foyth, man? How can you say that? But it is what it is. But listen, we got so what? Barcelona. Everyone's saying Barcelona to a man. No problem. Fair enough. Let's see how it goes. It's intriguing how you guys have set it up tactically as well. I think I see where you're going with the Barcelona signings. They're more exciting, they're more attractive, they're more Barcelona. But I don't know it's going to be that easy to overturn this machine like Madrid. But we'll see.
The defense of Barca,
Serie A, Bilal, Serie A, man. I'm trying to move on. You keep saying...
go on.
Serie A.
This is the most interesting one, Grizz.
You reckon?
I do think it is, yeah.
Talk your talk.
I just think, obviously, Milan won it last year. And if you look at Milan, you guys said to me right now, do Milan retain the title? I think my actual instant answer is no. I looked at their transfer window, and they actually have bought a very, very attractive winger. I think I'm going to try and say his name off the top of my head. I think it's Charles Leclerc, how you say it.
Leclerc.
Yeah, Leclerc, that's it, yeah. I actually liked him. I think for a winger, it's weird. I've watched him a few times. And I know this player did not kick on. He had the potential to, but he reminds me a bit of like a young Adnan Januzaj. Adnan Januzaj, yeah. And
how you drop in Adnan Januzaj in this
no,
chat?
no, weird. No, but hear me. It's
Lord.
not in terms of like they
Oh,
exactly.
these United
same,
fans
but...
are like shameless. Well, what are you saying, Adnan?
No. Januzaj was actually very talented, but hear me out. But the way he plays on the wing, like he's tall for he's quite tall for a winger. He's quite glidey. He's got quite long strides. I don't feel like there's many of them type of like wingers around today, if that makes sense. And I think he could be sort of like a quite an excellent signing. I think when you look at Rafael Leao, I think he's needed a bit of that support. I think they had Junior Messias on loan to them last year. He was playing some games. They've got Divock Origi coming now, but I just feel like with the upfront they had, and then now with Rafael Leao, I feel like this Charles player is something different for them on the wing. And now they've actually got 2 outlets on there, which I think will help them. But for me, it's not enough. And I actually think that, Mo, you're going to be liking this one. I generally do believe that Inter Milan have the best chance this season. I just feel like Lukaku, yes, it's not worked out at Chelsea. I understand that. I feel like a slower league. He's back on his diet. He will score goals there. I do think that's a good addition. I think about in terms of their main weapons, Milan Skriniar at centre-back. I do think he's a very, very top-level centre-back. They've kept him. Bareilles stayed. I just feel like right now Inzaghi and what he's trying to do there, they've got Yakin Correa staying there now permanently. I just feel like they're an outfit that are ready to challenge again for this league title. I feel like they're going to be hungry again. And I just don't believe that AC Milan can retain this title. But in terms of when we're looking at the 3 teams, you could say the Milan, Juventus, and Inter Milan, I don't think there is a vast difference between all of them. I do still think it will be actually quite a tight league, but I do think Inter Milan will, overturn that. And I do think Juventus potentially are pushing into this top 3. Roma are the interesting one. I'm not going to talk about Roma and their transfers. I'll let someone do that. But I do think Juventus with their Di Marias, the Pogbas, Vlahovic is now getting a full season. I just feel
I think you're spot on. I think this league is going to be a madness. This league is going to be the tightest. I'm not going to speak on Milan's too long. We're going to keep it moving. I'm just going to speak on the brother that I know, the legend, the icon, that is Divock Origi, Lord Divock Origi, that has gone to AC Milan. Big up my brother every time. And I mean, can't forget you. But Milan fans are in for a shock if they think he's going to play more than 15 times. Anyway, we're going to keep it moving. You know what I mean? But he will still score important goals and be the darling of the Milan derby. 100% he's going to be the darling of the Milan derby. Anybody want to speak on, I guess, Mo, you're going to speak on Inter while Bilal brings up your action, the transfers that you guys have done. Talk to me about your chances of Milan Inter.
So basically, it's Romelu Lukaku again. It's a kid called Aslani. He is a deep line playmaker.
You love him, don't you? You love him.
He's a very good player, very, very good player. Great on the ball, always asks for the ball. Belanova, a wing back that is very big wing back and cross with both feet. And of course, Andre Onana, the Ajax goalkeeper. He's coming to replace Handanovic. He's not going to start.
Finally.
He's not going to start the season as the starter. It's already done.
Oh, wow.
The coach already came and said that already. Henrik Mkhitaryan, who is coming to cover Hakan Çalhanoğlu. He's going to be a bench player, of course, but he's better than Vidal. So basically, this Inter at this time, if we keep everybody now, we are actually have a squad that can challenge for everything. I believe that this squad can go even deep in the Champions League with Lukaku back. Lukaku next to Lautaro Martinez is a different guy. Playing in a system that is like Inter is different than Thomas Tuchel's system, right?
100%.
He has support from Lautaro Martinez, which is why it works so well for them for 2 seasons, right? Under Antonio Conte. So this Inter team, the problem with it is that still at this moment, Skriniar is linked out, Barella is linked out, and Brozovic is linked out. And it's either any one of them, we lose one of them, the project is screwed, is done. Because Skriniar is irreplaceable. Brozovic, I don't tell you like it's Brozovic is as good in that at their Inter team as De Bruyne or Rodri, as important as these guys. He is irreplaceable for us. So that's the problem. That at the moment, the league starts Saturday, but they don't know who's staying and who's leaving, which is a big dilemma at the club. But the club replaced Perisic with one of the wing backs that was the best in the world about 2 years ago, which is Gosens, who played for Atalanta, who's the starting wing back for Germany, played at the last Euros, was really good for them. We got backup for every position now. We're still looking to sign another center back. And we got the forwards, right? We have 4 forwards now. So we have everything at our disposal as Inter to win the league and actually to challenge in the Champions League. People say that Serie A is not strong enough. And people know when we played Liverpool without one of our better players, which is Barella, we still played good. And we didn't have Lukaku. Now, with Barella, if we play and Lukaku, now we are a complete team. As for Juventus, I'm going to go to Juventus because I was listening to podcasts about it the other day. They made a big mistake in signing Pogba, and someone really, really made a terrible mistake in the medical because they said this injury was there. And they did not discover it. They were so hurried. They wanted to sign him for free for the fans and for the club that they made this mistake. He's going to be out for a bit. And this is why they're now trying to sign another midfielder to replace Pogba. Now, Rabiot is linked to Manchester United. Who's going to replace him? They don't know. Arthur is already going somewhere else. I think he's going to Valencia or something like this. It's a mess. Now they paid for Chiesa, so Chiesa's coming back from injury. They got Di Maria, who did well against a second-tier Mexican team, but didn't do anything else after this. He's aging. Can he play 38 games? Can he play in the Champions League with them all these games? It's the only spark there is Vlahovic, right? It's the only spark. Even Gelson Bremer, who's coming there, he's coming from a back 3 playing a sweeper. Now you're bringing a guy playing back 3. You want to play him back 4 now next to someone like Bonucci who's already aging, right? And you want to challenge. That's the hardest thing. That one of the things that they did a couple of days ago, if you guys, Kostic was signed from Eintracht Frankfurt permanently for them. So he's going to light up that wings, that left side, right? And he can be the guy that plays left wing back, left wing, or even left back, right? So they have a very good system. However, everybody in Italy knows one thing. It's terrorist football from Allegri. He doesn't want to play football. The guy, even in the friendlies, even in the preseason, he didn't want to play football. He wants to defend and wants to sit back and hit on the counter. While you have Di Maria and while you have Vlahovic and while you have Chiesa. That's what he wants. It's just very strange for me. But this is why they have to challenge for the Scudetto, right? But it doesn't look like it. It looks like still the club is not running well in terms of getting players right. But they are selling Rabiot to Man United apparently, and they sold De Ligt for 70 million to Bayern Munich. So it looks like the club can sell players, make money, but on the pitch, I'm not seeing it, man. I'm gonna let somebody else speak on Roma.
Just wondering, Mo. Do you think with Juve? Because I agree with you on your Lukaku point, by the way. Just quickly, front 2, perfect for him. That is where he does excel. But do you think with Juve, with Demirel coming back, and he was highly rated Turkish international a few years ago. He was at Atalanta last year. He's come back now. Do you think, because you said about Bremer, and I've watched him a few times for Torino, he is a solid player in a back 3. It's a different test, of course, in a back 4. Do you think if Kostic, you said, arriving, they could go to a back 5 with Cuadrado, for example, just throw his name out there as right wing back, Kostic, and then play Bremer, Bonucci, and who's the other?
You don't have anybody else.
Demirel as a back 5?
Demirel is in Atalanta. They sold him to Atalanta.
So he's gone permanently. Okay.
The only other option they have is to play Danilo. You remember the ex-Man City player,
of course,
as a right center back. But he is not a center back. He's a right back. So
he's trash as well. Trash as well. Yeah, he's trash as well. But Rimedi, look, I expected Mo to come in hard on Juve because being an Inter fan.
No, I've got a few different things about Juve as
well. I know. I was going to say. So, of course, Mo's come with that angle, and someone's got to back AC or Roma or Juve. Or are you on the Inter train as well, like Mo is?
Yeah, it has to be Inter. I think the problem is Allegri. Allegri is the problem. Allegri is one of the worst coaches at a top side in the world. I think Allegri is such a negative coach. I think the style of football that he plays, especially in 2022, when you want a team to dominate, Allegri is not there. He's not the best when it's coming. Like when it comes to Juve, have a very good crop of young midfielders coming through. Fagioli is good. Rovella is good. They have Moretti coming back from loan. I think those three together are going to be Juve's future. And I think Fagioli, especially, he's going to be the Adri Rabiot replacement. I think Fagioli is so
very highly thought of. Very highly thought of.
I think he's so good. And the problem is Allegri stifles youth. He loves the old players. He loves playing the players that he can depend on. And I just think Allegri, this guy is a dinosaur. And he's going to cost you heavily. Vlahovic is going to look a shadow of himself. Chiesa is going to come back with a knee that isn't there. And all the pressure is going to come back onto Chiesa. It's too much for him.
It's bad on Chiesa. When I think about this guy, he's electric. I called him, obviously when we were linked, and Liverpool people know, I'm the one who said we were very, very closely linked with him. We actually put in a bid for Chiesa. He was the perfect Klopp winger, man. Like, wow, imagine what he would do under Jurgen Klopp, man. But you're right, man. You're right. Allegri's got this thing, man. But a couple of people wanted to mention Roma, didn't mention Roma. Roma's doing bits. Mourinho is back on the scene.
Coming top 4, Grizz.
What are you saying?
Yeah, I just feel like with Roma, it's not that. Do you know what it is? You get Dybala, and people might criticize. I think Dybala is okay. He's a good player, very good technically. I think he's better in a front two as well. And obviously, it's whether he pairs him up with Abraham. You've got Selic, who's coming from Lille. He's going to give you a solid. Mourinho loves these type of players that are going to give you like a 7 out of 10 every week.
He knows what he wants from a player.
That's it. He knows what he wants. Yeah, he's going to get Selic playing. He's going to give him 7 out of 10 every week. He's got Nemanja Matic, his trusted enforcer in midfield. And, it's a slower league. Everyone knows he's growing up. Galazio days and everything when I was a kid. It's a slower league. It's a slower tempo. It's perfect for players like Nemanja Matic. And Wijnaldum, I'll be honest with you. I still think he's got something to give. I kind of sacked the year or two at PSG. I still think he's got the legs. I still think he's got something to offer Roma. And I just don't believe that Mourinho makes these type of signings without having ambitions of making top 4. Like, you don't sign Wijnaldum, who's won the Champions League and won the Premier League. You don't sign Matic, who's won multiple Premier Leagues as well. You don't sign Dybala, who's gone from Juve, a rival, to then Roma, to then not make top 4. I just believe now with that mentality of winning that Conference League, and whether people think it's crap or not, Grizz, it's all about mentality in football. And I hate Jordan Henderson, right? Jordan Henderson said it after he won his first trophy at Liverpool. I smelt it. I wanted more. The way them Roma players celebrated winning that trophy gives you that hunger, gives you that 10% extra. And I just think signing these type of players here, I'm not saying that Mourinho will be, oh my God, it's going to excel. I just think with the players like Zaniolo and the other sort of young crop of players he's got there, he's got a few good experienced sort of leadership players now. And I just feel like if anyone's going to burst into that top 4 this year, it has to be Roma. And I think I'm going to play devil's advocate here. If everyone's thinking the same thing, that Roma want to make top 4, would you say it's been a failure if Mourinho doesn't make top 4 next season? That's my question for the panel.
Yeah. There's one thing that people forget to mention. They have Spinazzola coming back from the injury as the left wing back. This guy is one of the fastest wing backs in the world. And we saw what he did with Italy in the Euros, right? So this guy is coming on hungry. He wants to play. And I think he's going to make a massive difference for them, in my opinion. This guy is so good. They have this other kid that's called Zalewski. He is so good as well on the left. So they have 2 right-sided wing backs that are really good, Karsdorp and the new Silic guy. And then on the left, Zalewski and Spinazzola. And now they have the depth up front with Tammy, Dybala, and now Zaniolo. So they have flexibility. And we know Mourinho, second season thing, he's good. He did it with Man United. He did it with Inter. He did it with
This is one. This is the season where Jose cracks the Da Vinci Code. He plays about with it. He mucks about with it. He tries everything. And then in the second season, it's his peak optimum season.
So, Grizz, is it a failure if he doesn't make top 4?
In my humble opinion, yes. In my humble opinion. But I wanted to ask you guys something before we move on to another league. And before I get your top 4, yeah? Mm-hmm. Anybody got Napoli finally doing so? Because Napoli are everyone's favorite, aren't they? Everyone's favorite, but they don't never achieve anything. Anyone got to say anything on this?
Nah. I think they signed a couple good players. I think Anguissa is probably one of the most underrated midfielders in the world. I think Anguissa, he's very comfortable on the ball. he's comfortable between the lines. He can find a pass. I think one signing that has gone under the radar is, I can't pronounce his name. It's the Georgian winger.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his
Oh
name.
yes.
We call him
Crashalea or something, man.
No, man.
Yeah.
Tyrone, man, what are you trying it for? Like, you just said anything. You just said anything there. Like, you
That
said
he's something mad like that.
You just said K's there. You just said K's. Like, we call him Kiv.
Yeah.
Kiv.
Yeah.
Brother Kiv.
Kiv, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a nice player. He's a nice winger, young winger coming from his country. I think he's going to be that player that can really show his ability on the big stage. I'm not so much sure about the South Korea centre-back that they signed. But yeah, I think Napoli, I still think they need a goalie and some other players as well. But yeah, Napoli, you never want to write a Spalletti team out.
Yeah, I think Rimedi actually touched on the goalkeeper. I'm sure I read yesterday that Kayla Navas might be going to Napoli.
That'll be a big sided, yeah. That'll be
guys. The thing for me with Napoli, I'm not going to rule them in, is because of what Omar says. Big up Omar every time. He says Koulibaly and Insigne are two massive misses for them. Go on,
I didn't see it, but it doesn't say on the transfers for Napoli. That sole backing guy from Norway, I'm not sure that deal's been done yet. If someone knows, I don't know, put it in the comments. But they were saying that Napoli were going to sign the sole backing guy, plays at Bodo Glimt, some Norwegian team. They were tearing it up in the Conference League last season, beating Celtic, beating Roma. Only 23 years old, plays on the right wing, can play on the left. For me, probably ends up even as a number 9, like a full-on number 9 in the future. If Napoli get him in, I think that's a really good signing. I'm very interested to see how he develops, but I couldn't see if it's actually been completed. Yeah.
Omar's told us exactly how to say it, so if you guys want to remember it. Oh shit, of course, how can we forget Fabian Ruiz going as well?
Yeah.
Come on guys, man, that is a huge blow for them, man. Big up TMB.
He hasn't left yet, has he?
No, but he's about to. He hasn't.
Yeah, so he hasn't left yet. The season starts on Saturday. He hasn't left yet. And
he will go. Okay, I'm going to start with you, Mo. Give me your top 4.
Inter.
And this is last year's one, so give that a look.
Let's Inter, Juventus still, Milan, Roma.
You going Juventus second as well, Mo?
Yeah, dude, it's Juventus, man.
So you got your own notes, or you copying Mo's?
I'm gonna go in Inter. I'm gonna go. Oh, Milan and Juve are so spot. I'm gonna go Inter, Juve, Milan, Roma.
Rimedi?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Inter, Milan.
Okay, yeah.
I think I'm gonna keep Juventus at 4th because I just really think like Allegri. I hate Allegri personally. I hate him. You know what? Let's go Roma 3rd. Let's try that. I'm a casual though.
Roma.
I'm a casual.
Bilal?
Yeah, for me, I think Inter clear favorite. I think even last season, really, Inter should have won the league.
They blew it.
Just blew it. Like they should have won. They're clearly the best team in Serie A. So,
just quickly, if anyone wants to answer, why is everyone so unsure also on AC Milan just winning it and then just dropping? Some are saying 3rd, some are saying 2nd. Like, why are we all just throwing?
It was a fluke, Ty. It was a fluke.
Yeah, fair.
No.
Listen, Milan are good, man. Listen,
Milan.
The team they've got.
Milan wasn't a fluke, Mo, man. I'm going to stick up for Milan here because Milan was heritage, man. That was heritage coming through.
Oh, but not in the league, though. They haven't even won the league more than Inter, by the way. They just tied Inter last year.
This is going to be a long season if me and you're going to fight over the Milan. We're going to take one club. I'm going to take Milan. You're going to take Inter. No problem. Let's bring it on. It's going to be fun, man. But Juventus are a team that I don't like. I'm with Rimedi. Man. Old lady and that, man. I'm not into old ladies.
And me, I'm not so sure about Bremer as well as a centre back.
See that I'm going to argue there.
NFL linebacker, man.
I'm not so sure.
Bremer's a beast, but I get the back 3 tacks. But Bremer,
not even talk about back 3 tacks, bro. I think me personally, I was over the moon for Juventus when De Ligt left. I have a De Ligt agenda, bro. I have a serious agenda against De Ligt.
Okay.
It's your favorite team, Juventus.
What are you saying? Dutch Harry Maguire. That's what some people are calling him.
Yeah, no, I think Harry Maguire could at least.
You're going to say better.
No, hold on. Are we comparing De Ligt to Maguire?
I'm not. I'm just saying people are saying that.
Now that's Remedi's show. Look, every brother on this show is gonna have something clipped up. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Clip it. Clip it.
There
You
go.
can
No problem.
search through my Twitter. I just have
Rimedi,
a Delict
man.
agenda.
Oh, I love you,
I
bro. I
have
know
one.
you know your ball. I'm surprised they let Maguire.
Bro, I know. I'm not even talking about them like comparing them. I'm just talking about Delict. Like,
Yeah, he's
that's
just
all
talking
I'm
about
talking
Delict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just think he's quite stiff. And I think when it comes to moving his body, I think it's a good move that Juventus made. 70, almost 80 million euros for him. Now, you're signing Bremer as well, who's someone who's very uncomfortable on the ball. Very uncomfortable on the ball. And I just feel that if you're moving from someone that wasn't the best on the ball in Delict, and then you're moving to someone that's even worse on the ball, Bremer, I think they could have done better.
I'm backing you on the ball. Bremer is pants on the ball because again he's another centre back that we were linked with, and I was saying speed merchant, strength merchant, all of that 1-on-1. Yeah, he's a beast, but on the ball, he's just not clever on the ball, and that could have worked against him. If one of the reasons why we probably didn't go for him. But as we can see, we've moved on to the Bundesliga now, people. Bundesliga people in the chat. I hope we've told you about the La Liga and hope we've told you about how Serie A is going to finish. We're not going to go too deep on on Bundesliga. We know how it's going to end. I just want to talk about the signings in comparison to, are they going to make an impact into the Champions League? Who wants to go first on the Bayern Munich scenario situation?
Listen, Bayern, they're cooking something. You know why? Okay. Because they've got what I think. I was debating this in my head today by myself, as I do sometimes. And I'm thinking, who's the best under 21 player in the world? And honestly, I'm feeling Jamal Musiala so much. I think this boy, people don't talk about him that much because he plays at Bayern. It's a Bundesliga. But this boy is ridiculous.
Nice.
So good. And if he was playing for England, I think the hype would be next level, more than Bellingham, more than Foden, more than Saka. I think this kid is special. And I feel like now with Nagelsmann, I think they played a 4-4-2 the other day. It's just fluid.
Don't talk about the formation. We'll be here all night trying to explain that formation. Yeah. Don't
Nagelsmann, but this is the thing with Bayern. In the Bundesliga, Nagelsmann can just have fun, man.
PlayStation
he can play different systems. And you're going to win 5-0 anyway. You know what I mean?
They were 5-0 up at halftime last week.
Yeah, exactly. You got Sane coming off the bench, and it's just mad. But in the Champions League now, is it enough to bridge the gap? And I think Bayern minimum have to go semi-final every single year. Definitely. With the team they have, with the monopoly they have over German football, the power of the team, the way they play football, I feel like they have to go to the semi-final, and I feel like they will. Gravenberch again, another good signing. This kid, Mathis Tel, only 17 years old. They're saying he's the next Mbappe, or the way they're talking about him in Bayern Munich's next level. But of course, the main man, as the people on this channel will know, Sadio Mane. For me, I think Nagelsmann and Mane are going to get on. Like, even, I don't know if you guys saw the celebrations of Mane after the game, going into the stands with the fans. The energy there, he's a main man. I think Mane is next level. And I feel like him being in this fluid system now at Bayern, I think this year they're going to be scary. You're not going to know how to defend them, really. And I think that's the issue for most teams, especially in the Champions League. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
I was going to say, Ty, we're not comparing him in the Bundesliga. It's a wrap. Forget about it. Don't talk about it yet. But what I want to focus on is in the Champions League, man. Is this enough for them? Because they've been annual flops now in the Champions League, very much like Man City. Shout out Man City. You know what I mean? They need to do something in the Champions League now.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know what? Bilal's bang on right. They have to get to the semi-finals. I think when you look at teams across Europe and you look at Liverpool, you probably look at Man City, and you probably look at Real Madrid. In terms of teams right now in the Champions League, for me, that are complete in terms of, you're guaranteed to get to semis and finals, I think it's them three. And, people said about Barcelona could potentially do something. Mo saying about Inter Milan could potentially do something. That's because there's not many teams in Europe right now where you're saying they're really complete and they're ready to go. Liverpool and City are for me. And then you've got Bayern Munich now alongside Real Madrid. That'd be the four with PSG signings coming in, which we'll talk about definitely next. But I feel like this team here for Bayern Munich is ready in terms of, I think they're going to play good football. I think it scores a lot of goals. And I really like, for me, the introduction of Gravenberch, because he helped Ajax in their quest when they were going quite far, and he's bedded into the side after Van der Beek left and stuff. And I just feel like they've had Kimmich there, they've had Goretzka, They've had, who's the one that didn't work out, went back to France? Tolisso. That's it. Corentin Tolisso. And I feel like they've missed like a proper central midfielder. Not someone who's like Kimmich, who's converted from right back. Not Goretzka, who's sort of like a big machine up and down, box to box. Just a proper central midfielder. And I think Gravenberch is going to be quite a key player for them this season. I think minimum semis for them. And I love Sadio Mane. Big up Senegalese man them inside, if any of them are here. I just feel like this is the perfect move for him. Up front, fluid. He can get in behind. He can link up play. And if anything, Liverpool kind of, I don't want to say made a mistake. We could see what Núñez offers. But Mane is that type of player that he can do a bit of everything. He can score. He can link up. And that was his first season as a number 9 Grizz last year. And you could see what he's bringing. Mane at 30 years of age, going into a central position, is only going to grow. And I think in Europe, they've got something very interesting. And I think when you look at it, 2 legs, they can score goals, man. And goals win games in some big games.
People in the chat, you'll notice that the bots are in town. Just keep mods, do your bits. I forgot to put it on slow mode as well. I'm a lost cause. Blame me. I didn't put it on slow mode. But it should be sorted out in any second.
Yes. I don't think they win the Champions League though. But if you want me to pull it out and you ask me a question, do Bayern win the Champions League? They don't. They fall short.
Okay, Mo.
I used to like Bayern Munich. I don't like their new model. Not anymore, you know. Like it's kind of like they kind of neglected the defense side of football. And I'm being as a fan of Italian teams since 1994. I'm more of a tactical person, and I think like Bayern, it's just a free fluid football that goes, you know what, we'll just do what we can every game. And I think that the link-up play is great and everything, but I think tactically, defensively, they're always open. That's why they might win a game 5, but they lose the next game 5. Like that happened last year to them. To me, Mane is Mane. He's a great player, as Ty said, converted to forward. But still, they're playing very strange sometimes that they play one center-back and left back and a right back in the back, and that's it. And then everybody else attacks. They play literally 3-7. And then let's just hope nobody will score on us and Manuel Neuer will have 2 or 3 magnificent saves. And I'm not about that kind of football. I'm about having everything under control. So for me, Bayern, of course, they're going to win the league, the Bundesliga, easy, straightforward, because Borussia Dortmund, they got very unlucky with the Halle situation. We're going to touch on that. And I don't think Leipzig have it in them to challenge and get it over the line at the end. But other than this, in the Champions League, I still think they're very exposed in the back with having Hernandez as a left back playing center back for them. And as I really agree with everybody about De Ligt, I don't rate De Ligt that much. He was good at Ajax. Yeah, so as Sanchez that went to Spurs. Yeah, it's good to play for Ajax, but it's different to play for the big guys. The big guys need big players, and I don't think De Ligt is that. There is a reason why he doesn't start for the Dutch team, in my opinion. There is a reason some coaches don't rate him that high. He's good and everything, but in my opinion, they're still exposed in the back. Neuer, he has a mistake in him sometimes. He's one of the greatest goalies we've seen in our recent times, but I'm not about in the Champions League. You need a lot of balance on your team to actually go far in the Champions League, which is I don't think they have.
Yeah, great point. I think 7 points. Yeah.
I was going to say Rimedi. He looks like he's logged off again. Bilal, where are they getting to the semi? Where are they getting in the Champions League?
If we're talking Bayern, I think when you think about the Bayern, you just associate them. They have to get to the semi-final. But when you're looking at the other teams in Europe, you're thinking Man City. We'll probably get onto PSG at some point in terms of how they look like they're actually, actually serious for once and actually having a footballing plan. Liverpool will be up there. Real Madrid, Barcelona. It's tough. It's tough for Bayern. And the way, Mose makes a great point about the tactics and how defensively Nagelsmann sets up. When you're playing like that, you end up in the PSG trap, which is in the league. You're not playing these serious competitive games. You're almost experimenting every single game. And that's what it feels like Bayern are doing in the Bundesliga. When it gets to the high-pressure Champions League game, when they're facing off with Liverpool, who are playing every single game, a high-pressure game, they probably will fall short. But for me, they have to get to the semi-final. It's Bayern Munich. You have to push.
Yeah,
you have to get to the semi-final. Minimum. If not, it's a failure. So, yeah.
Do you not think that with what's happened last year when Nagelsmann, they got knocked out by Villarreal, he might have learned a lot from that. Obviously, he's still a young manager. He hasn't been that far with Hoffenheim, of course. Obviously, it was great what he did there and stuff. But this notion of obviously being a bit like PSG, where they can walk the league, they can experiment. Do you think this is the year? Obviously, Upamecano, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big fan at all.
Yeah,
that's Upamecano and De Ligt. We're talking about getting to a semi-final of the Champions League. Don't you think that in terms of the attacking threat that they have, yes, they can score goals. This might be the year that Nagelsmann might have to concede something and maybe go a bit more reserved. And he's going to have to change his approach, because that approach is definitely not sustainable, like Mo said. Especially
Rimedi, I'm going to leave that final chat or final say on Bayern to Rimedi again.
I think regarding the Champions League, I think Bayern sometimes they might struggle against low blocks. When we saw Villarreal last year, I think Villarreal, they have the perfect European setup. You go, you're compact, you sit tight, and then you hit teams on the counter-attack. I think Bayern, when they come against that, I think they don't have as many players that can really unlock a door. I think they have two. For me, they have two. I think it's Musiala, because he can find pockets of space and he can really attack teams like that. And I think it's Coleman, because Coleman 1v1 it's a nightmare for any defender. I think in the world, I think Coleman is top 3 1-on-1 players. I really love Coleman. But losing Lewandowski and losing that focal point up front and getting your goals every single season. I know Lewandowski didn't have a really good knockout round in the Champions League last season, but I think in the Champions League, they're not going to be my favourites. I think for me, this year is City. Not even like Premier League bias stuff, but I think it's City this year.
Fair enough. It will be very, very interesting if they get that over the line. Massive flop. Huge disaster if they don't. Let me just put it out there. Pep's under. Hey man, Haaland ain't come to win another Premier League, man. Come on, man. They win Premier Leagues, man. You know what I mean? They win Premier Leagues with Nathan Ake. You know what I mean? And Ferran Torres. Come on. Haaland's been bought to win the Champions League. So if you don't win Champions League, it's a failure.
Yeah, I'm still not feeling City for the Champions League. I don't know.
Then listen. Being realistic, they're gonna win it. They're gonna win it, whether it's this year, next year, they're gonna win it in his tenure. Otherwise,
you think? I don't see them winning it this year. To be honest, I know Haaland's come in, but I feel like the squad right now. Sometimes even at the back, Kyle Walker, the way they depend on him, and he's picking up injuries here and there.
Let's keep it moving. We're not going to start talking about Man City on this segment. Yeah. Let's keep it moving. We need to wrap this up, people. We've got one final league to look at. We're not going to look at Dortmund because I don't think Dortmund have done any. Look, people hype up Dortmund every season. Every season, Dortmund have done great business. I always tell, no, they haven't. They haven't done great business. They don't do great business. Just names. It's just names. They're great sellers. That's what they are. They're great sellers. They don't do great business. Dortmund, and I've said it, Dortmund are going to be my flops of the season. Like, if you know what I mean by flops, whatever flop is for Dortmund, they're going to do it. That's going to be them. So
back
I don't
to
want to
Europa League.
Yeah. PSG, again, very much like Bayern, we're not going to talk about the league. We're going to talk about the Champions League chances with the business that they've done. Of course, the biggest deal they could have done was to keep Kylian Mbappe. They kept Kylian Mbappe. Bilal, have you got the PSG business for us? Mo or Tyrone, take it away about PSG. Is this the PSG year where they, very much like Man City, get to the Holy Grail?
In my opinion, finally, someone is making sense at the club and getting defenders and midfielders instead of just buying superstars up front. Di Maria's out. They got Vitinha. He's a defensive midfielder. He's good player. They got that guy Mendes, left back, good. Renato Sanchez is a dynamic midfielder. I know his career took a dip after the Bayern Munich move, but then he revived it last year from Lille. And then I think someone is making sense finally at the club. I hope that they don't play 5-5. It's not the 50s. They like to. I know Pochettino did this last year when they played 5 attackers and 5 midfielders and defenders. I think this is Mbappe's year. In my opinion, it's not Haaland's year. The problem is he plays in Ligue 1, but I think this is Mbappe's year in the Champions League. He is gonna shine, this kid. This year. I'm a big fan of his, and I think that he has now all the tools because he has control of his situation. He's not worried about his future. He's not thinking about Madrid. He's not thinking about going anywhere. He has the capability to go forward. He has the capability to score goals. And I think this is the reason why I think this year, it might be his year, in my opinion. And PSG, they're making sense in that transfer market this year. They didn't go out and buy superstars. They just went out and bought what is needed for the squad.
I can't really disagree. If I'm honest, I don't want to say I'm a betting man. I don't want to promote betting, but if I had my money, I think this is PSG's time. I just feel like with Luis Campos, we've seen him do it at Lille, we've seen him do it over his career, and I just feel like they're buying players they actually need, not players because they actually want them. You look at Fabian Ruiz, a very high volume passer. You know, you've got Verratti in there, who I think Verratti's brilliant, top 5 central midfielders in the world. They keep him fit. Him and Ruiz is a very good midfield. And I think something that PSG have lacked for me is that dynamic, like what you said with Renato Sanchez, Mo. I just feel like when you watch PSG in the Champions League, you know the front three can do their jobs, but I just think they've lacked a bit of legs in there. I know they've had Idrissa Gueye, they've had Danilo Pereira, but for me, they're just a bit like mashed potato. You know, people have it on their dinner and they like it, but really, is it that nice? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know which one you use, bro. I don't know which one you use. You're looking.
Yeah, I don't eat mashed potato. There you go. So it's not that great for me, but it's one of them ones. People have it on their dinner and it's a regular thing, but for me, it doesn't really have nothing going. Now I feel like with Renato Sanchez, he's a ball carrier. He can take the ball and beat a man, open up spaces for Mbappe in transition, Neymar as well. And I think, you know, I don't try and debate it too much, but I love Neymar. People love Mbappe. I love Neymar. I think he's a wonderful footballer, and I think he's in for a big season as well. I know he's 30, and people could say, you know, he's going past it and stuff like that. I just feel like Gautier is a manager that is tough, and they need that now. With Campos coming in, there's no bullshit. Sorry about my language, but there's no bullshit now. And with Gautier coming in as manager, I believe with Pochettino, I like him, but he was too scared to maybe be a bit brave or, you know, say what he needs to be said. I think Gautier is coming there to do a job. He knows his aims, and he's got the right players there. You got Mukiele, even a Leipzig, you know, right back. He played against us and played really well as a right back. I believe now that, like, they're getting...
How's that going to work out? How's that going to work out, people? Because Hakimi, for me, is mad.
So I think what it is, right, is that it gives them flexibility, especially when it comes to fixture proof and formations. Hakimi is a brilliant right wing back. Don't get it twisted. A brilliant right wing back. But there's times where you think, you know, he could get exposed when it's a back four. And I think Mukiele, in terms of more of maybe a defensive-minded player in the 1v1 situations, I think he's harder to get past. So I think that's a good addition. And I love Nuno Mendes anyway. So I think if you chuck in Fabian Ruiz, his name's not even in there yet. Mm-hmm. I think they've got a perfect blend of what they want. The Hugo Ekitike one is intriguing. I want to see how it works out. I don't comment on players if I've not watched him enough. I haven't watched him enough to know how good he is. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like if there's any year that we could go back in the last 7 years, which is when PSG have been trying to win this Champions League, this is the best chance they've got. And for me, I have them in my top 2 teams to win the Champions League this year, if not my number 1, if you ask me to pick one.
I'm going to come to you, Rimedi, and then I'm going to ask you what Omar's asking. He's asking, let's just do this first. I really want to know what PSG's midfield personnel are in the last stages if they stick with 3-4-3. So let's assume Fabian Ruiz is going there. They've got rid of Gini. They're looking like they're trying to get rid of Idrissa Gueye.
Yeah.
How are you seeing? Well, okay, maybe not the midfield, but if you want to comment on the midfield, feel free. And where they're going to finish Champions League, are they going to finally crack the Da Vinci Code when it comes to Champions League as well?
I think if you just quickly get up the starting 11 again. I think it's gonna be the one that we see, Verratti and Vitinha. I think they have a very good blend about them. I think Vitinha, I think he's so good. I think he's unbelievably good. I think he has that all-round ability. He knows how to pass. He knows how he's a player that can really get around the pitch. One thing I'm really interested about is the role of Sarabia this season, because right now, obviously Mbappe isn't in the side. Cool. But what Sarabia has done so far in Gautier's system, he's been the presser. He's been the workhorse. And I think every single front line needs that player that will sacrifice themselves for the team. And I think Sarabia is one of them. One of those players that can take a step back, leave their ego at the door and allow
Mm.
Neymar and Messi to shine. And every team needs that. You need players that know what their role is. So I think what is going to be very interesting is how
Is he the? Are you saying he's the Pedro for PSG now?
Yes, I think he's going to be one of those guys that can come off the bench, can do something that's really interesting, because Mbappe is going to come back into this team. So I don't know how Mbappe is really going to, what's the word, gel in this system that we've seen under Galtier, because they all look very balanced so far. But Mbappe is so good. So we just see how it's...
Mbappe has to gel. It's his club. Otherwise he's going to sack the coach. So he's going to sack the
club. He's going to sack the club.
Yeah, he's going to sack the coach. So Gaultier has to rip up every plan that he had ever in his coaching, all the coaching manuals. And we know how Gaultier is a top coach, and everyone's talking about Campos has done amazing work and Gaultier has amazing work, but they got to fit their life around Mbappe. Simple. Simple.
And last thing, no one's really spoken about Messi. We forget about one guy.
This is mad, Messi. Though. But this is mad. Like, okay,
too many players. Super team, man.
No, but it's Cristiano Ronaldo. We're talking about. Nobody wants him, right? Let's be real. No serious team wants Cristiano Ronaldo. Sorry, Ty. You can flex all you want and muscles and BP rising and everything, but nobody wants Cristiano Ronaldo. And I've said this a month ago. No serious team. Sorry, let me caveat that. No serious team wants Ronaldo. I still think serious teams would go for Messi. That's just my opinion. Very quickly, what do you think, guys?
Yeah, 100%. People would go for Messi because what Messi offers you is, okay, Ronaldo, he's a star of the show. He's 38, he comes with a lot of baggage, and also he affects the way you play. Messi is someone who can literally play. You could play him in midfield, and he's probably going to be your best midfielder. You play him as a false nine, he's going to be the best false nine you've ever seen. And I feel like now Messi's loading. He's bubbling for that World Cup now. And I think after the World Cup, there might be question marks about what Messi's feeling, especially if it goes bad, for Argentina. But I feel like Messi now he's getting himself back up to that top level for Argentina. And I don't know how that's going to affect PSG, because this World Cup, Qatar, everything around PSG as well. How's that actually going to affect the season? Because I think the World Cup, out of every single team in Europe, it's probably going to affect PSG the most, with the ownership, with the players that they've got. I feel like it really could affect them. The Neymar situation as well, I'm not sure now. Neymar's looking good. Do PSG still want to let him go? That's another debate in itself. But yeah,
we're there's gonna be a lot. Look, PSG is like it's like a circus, isn't it? There's gonna be so many talking about. It's like Hollywood, you know what I mean? So we're gonna have so much to talk about throughout the season, guys. Very quickly, PSG then. Where they're gonna what Champions League, Bilal?
Final.
Ty?
Final,
yeah. Mo?
They're gonna bottle it again.
Where?
They're not reaching the final.
What
semi-final, quarter-final.
Rimedi?
I agree.
Oh, after saying okay.
Grizz, no, wait. 2-2. Split decision to end the stream. You, my friend.
PSG, eternal semi-finalists, man.
Bilal, we've got to stay strong, my brother.
I'm saying something for PSG,
eternal semi-finalists, man. Eternal semi-finalists, man. 100% semi-finalists. Now they got Ramos in the back line. Man, semi-finalists, man. Yeah, Ramos is going to always let them down when it gets to that stage, man.
Yeah.
He's not ready for it. But listen, guys, this has been a fantastic opening show. I've really enjoyed all of your company, man. I tried to keep this an hour. I know you guys, man. I told you guys it's going to be an hour. I'm so sorry it's gone a little bit over time, but the chat was popping, man. Everything. People were like, giving us, correcting us. Because when I was talking about Bayern Munich, apparently they won the Champions League 2 years ago, so I slapped.
COVID tax.
COVID tax. Yeah, no one remembers that. Like,
no one remembers.
I'm joking. But
don't say that, man. They won the COVID league, Liverpool. So don't say that in Grizz's channel.
Now Liverpool one's different. Liverpool won the league. Liverpool won the league by January.
So just to correct that. We actually won the league by Christmas. COVID kicked in February, exactly. So we had like a 26.
That's what Grizz tells himself in the mirror.
The table tells me every time I look at that table in January. Teams gave up, man. You know what I mean? People, the government invented disease, the illness just got in and it tried to stop us.
You know what, Grizz? Just quickly, you know what? This
Those are
comment
fun-
from Sleeping
yeah.
We're
Dragon.
serious.
City, PSG, that would be an insane final because the pressure on both clubs to win it, boy. Like I would, as a neutral, Man United are not there. I would love to see that final.
It's a serious final. It's a serious final, but they got to get there,
Oil
man. I told you,
Classico.
pedigree, heritage. Have they got that heritage? You know what I mean? We keep talking about heritage, people. Come on, you know what it's
They
about.
got oil money, man. That's all they need.
100%. But
Oil
people in the chat, thank you so much for assisting us today. It's been amazing. We're going to be back next Wednesday, 10 p.m. We're going to be delving deep. Hopefully, all the leagues have started now, innit? By next week, every league is going to be started. So we're going to be talking about the big results, any shocks. You've heard their opinions. Hope you've enjoyed the chat. Until next week, peace out.